First, I'm going to call on our Assistant City Manager, Valerie Washington, and she's going to introduce stuff to give us a update on the hotel explosion from yesterday.
David, thank you. Mayor and Council, I have Chief Davis, Chief Noakes, and Craig Trojak are on their way up to provide an update on the Sandman Hotel explosion. Just as they're coming up here, this team came in and collaborated, of course. This impacted us citywide. The chiefs coordinated with TPW, Development Services, City Manager's Office. We're already talking about lessons learned and ways we can communicate better, especially with mayor and council when these things happen. But want to bring the chiefs up so they can give us an overview of the incident. Thanks, chiefs.
Thank you, ma'am. Mayor, members of council, Mr. Cook, Jim Davis, fire chief. Yesterday at 3:32 in the afternoon, there was a explosion at the Sandman Hotel, which is a block over, as most of you know. There is a couple things that I am here to report to you about it. First of all, there is significant damage to the building, specifically the first floor and the basement and into the sub-basement of the building. The building was occupied. There was approximately 28, 29 rooms that were actually rented at the time of the incident. There were injuries that occurred. There was approximately 21 people total that were treated. There were some that refused assistance, further assistance, and left against medical advice. There were 15, it's my understanding, that were transported, one in critical condition or very serious at this point. The point that a couple things that have happened overnight that I want to make you aware of is there were some social media. I think the chief's here to speak to it as well, but there is, at this point, it is still under investigation. We do believe that gas was involved. The question that we have that we're waiting to work together with Atmos on is whether or not a gas leak caused the explosion or an explosion caused the gas leak. But at the moment, there is nothing that we're finding that, there was initial that this was some type of a car bomb, then there was a conversation through social media about nefarious act of people trying to damage the building purposely. And unless Chief Noakes has additional information that he's aware of, we have no evidence of that at this point. Do you concur, Chief?
Absolutely. I concur. Mayor and Council, Neil Noakes, Chief of Police, Forward PD. We have absolutely no indication that there was any intent by anyone to cause this explosion. I was actually here at City Hall when it happened. I was in a meeting with Bonsil Shukumbi, and we heard the sound, saw the windows rattle. We weren't sure what it was at first, and then my phone started blowing up at that point. Luckily, I was close. I responded to the scene, and I got to tell you what I saw when I arrived. It was chaotic. It was devastating. It was kind of hard to see here in Fort Worth, in the heart of Fort Worth. But what I saw was Fort Worthians doing what they do. I saw residents who were coming out, people who worked at businesses. They were assisting those who were injured. I saw 4 police officers, some who had gone in the building to help FD with the evacuation, others helping those who were injured. I saw the Fort Worth Fire Department doing what only the Fort Worth Fire Department can do, rendering aid to those who were victims. Saw MedStar on scene, providing life care, emergency care to these victims. We had a lot of our federal partners, FBI, ATF, HSI, responded to the scene immediately without even being asked. Even though I was only a few blocks away and was able to respond quickly, there were already dozens and dozens and dozens of your first responders who were here on scene. Within a minute or less, they were here on scene doing what they do. From our standpoint, once we arrived, first it was whatever life-saving care we could provide, and then it was assisting the fire department with their operations, making sure we secured the scene, set up a perimeter, and expanded as necessary to make sure all vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic was out of the area and making sure everyone was safe. I was really proud to see the way everyone, all first responders and our residents, responded to this incident. Obviously, it is not something any of us ever want to see happen anywhere, especially this close to home. But I want to tell you, you should be proud of your first responders and the way the residents responded as well. And a thank you goes out to business owners like Gloria Starling at Capitol Grill, Chef Tim Love, John Bonnell with the Buffalo Brothers, providing food, coffee, whatever our first responders need to make sure that's one thing they don't have to worry about while they do their jobs. And we thank you for your support. Many of you showed up, many of you called, you offered your support, and it means more than I can say.
Just a couple quick things I'd add on to that, and we're moving forward. So the Emergency Operations Center was activated. Can't thank Craig and our team enough on top of what Chief said. There's a lot of other people that I think I want to make sure that you understand the cooperation we've had. First of all, the folks at MedStar have been fantastic to work with. They're still on scene over there. I just came from there. Atmos Gas has been very cooperative. They're still on the scene. They're over there. Cody and his team from environmental, we're talking about, how we get it cleaned up, the things that have to happen next. DJ Harrell and his team have helped us go in and structurally make a quick assessment as to whether on the stability of the building. So there's a lot of other folks. We, working with Cody, are planning on hopefully completing what we're doing now, which is completing a secondary search of the void spaces in the building. We completed a primary search. We removed all the victims that we could see, but there's concrete down from the first floor pancaked into the basement. So what we did overnight was we we got assistance from the state of Texas and the federal FEMA task force, who brought cadaver dogs in to just run them through there, make sure that we we have a concern that we're missing somebody, even though there is nobody that's unaccounted for at this point. I want to make that very clear. We have nobody that's unaccounted for, but out of an abundance of caution, we've done that. And we've also, as part of that FEMA task force, they've brought in a collapsed structural engineer who has helped make sure that as we move debris, that we're not creating a further problem. So that's what's going on over there. And again, on top of the police, I want to thank the marshals. That was one group that I forgot to mention in my haste here. We hope to have this turned over back to the building owner by dark tonight as we complete our process. 8th, which you can see in some of the pictures, there's significant damage to the road, so that road's going to be closed for a while until they figure out how to repair that road. Talk to Cody. There's already a plan involved in how to assist the building owner in securing the building. The damage is pretty much glass-wise and from an exterior to the second floor, but the main significant collapse damage is from the first floor and into the basement and sub-basement, which is where laundry, a restaurant, things like that were. We're very lucky that at this point there's no fatalities out of it. And if there is, I'll make sure city management is notified immediately that we've had. But our thoughts and prayers are with those that are impacted. The police have been fantastic working with the folks that were guests there and trying to recover their belongings and make sure that their travel voucher or their travel documents are all accounted for and things like that. So I think the one take-home message at this point is we don't have an official cause. We can say we're very confident that gas is involved at some manner, but we don't know what. And the take-home message to the public is that natural gas is very safe,